All right, guys. So just so you know, this was relatively last minute, and I'm doing all my own AV, so I apologize if it doesn't go completely smoothly. But I do want to show you we have some special guests on the line here. We've got Marius from Mastering Mayhem there in the yellow shirt. In the red mask, we have Joe, the tool guy. We have Phil Boyle. Phil knows a little bit about product marketing from his past days at Sony. I hope it's okay that I said that. And he also has been doing a little research into this sensorless, brushless motor technology that Flex has been pushing. And finally, many of you know Red, the bear from Den of Tools at the bottom of your screen. So guys, thanks so much for joining. Again, this is a relatively new channel. It's what, 2.5 weeks. I've already got 1,500 subs. I'm blown away. I'm still reeling. It's just kind of whoosh. So thanks so much for joining. What I wanted to do is just kind of talk to our panelists here, our fellow YouTubers and Phil about what their thoughts are on the Flex tools. I'm not the only one that got an early chance at these tools. Marius at Mastering Mayhem, he's got the grinder. I might have a couple other things. Joe, the tool guy, did his live stream yesterday on that recip saw. Red from Den of Tools, he got the tools from Flex. So he's limited. He can't really give his opinion on the tools, but I just wanted to get, there he is. I just wanted to get some general, ideas from him on what he thinks so far as what he can say about Flex and the industry and things like that. So now that we had a mic issue, I'm concerned about it. Let's try this. So maybe Red, can you unmute yourself and we'll see if this works?
All right, I'm unmuted.
I think we're okay.
All right.
All right. Hey, so Jeff, I guess tell us a little bit about how you got into being Den of Tools.
Dude, that's a long story.
I didn't preempt any questions.
Long ago. And then transitioned into more technical stuff, and then actually ended up running a company out in Silicon Valley. And I bought a house. I was fixing it up, and built out a shop in the garage, and started buying tools, and was looking online and have people saying all sorts of ridiculous stuff about tools. So I thought, why not start my own YouTube channel? And and actually the real reason I use the bear, a lot of people don't realize that, is because I was a C-level corporate person, and I didn't want my two worlds to mix. I didn't want to be sitting in a boardroom and have somebody be like, aren't you that guy from Den of Tools or whatever? So that's how I got started, and I've been doing it 5.5 years at this point.
That's awesome. Yeah, I love your channel. The bear is really cool. I've been secretly trying to figure out how you do it because I know that's a trade secret, but being an IT nerd, I've always how does Jeff do that? But Red does not talk about the bear, so don't ask him.
Well, I'll be honest, the reason we don't talk about it is because the software that we use, the company that owns that, is kind of shifty, and I don't like promoting them. If somebody wants to know, I can tell you how to do it, but they're not the best company to work with.
All right, Joe, the tool guy, let's go with you next. Tell us a little bit about your YouTube career and a little bit about yourself. You're on mute though, Joe.
All right. So I'm actually in a similar position to Red over there. I'm a full-time real estate investor. I'm actually a pretty big real estate agent in my city. And that's part of the reason why I'm masked up and all that.
Gotcha. Yeah, that makes sense. All right. So Phil, why don't you tell everybody a little bit about yourself? Not a YouTuber yet, thinking about it. I don't know if you want me to leak your prospective YouTube channel name, but give us the rundown.
Well, I've been thinking about being a YouTube creator for, let me see, I registered my name almost 10 years ago. My channel, which should be launching this month, tried on my birthday, is going to be called Geek Omelet. And then inside of it, there'll be sub-channels for topics. So I'm talking to you right now on Geek Omelet Tools because I'm a big geek. I spent almost my whole professional career inside the consumer electronics industry, the last 20 working for Sony Electronics in product development, marketing, sales. I was often talking about the products there. So I was working at Sony when I had this idea, and I just frankly didn't have the time. Working at Sony is more than a full-time job. And then since then, I've been kind of doing my own thing. I've been doing consulting, and right now I'm a freelance writer. So again, that takes an awful lot of time. But your video relit the fire in me. So yeah, I'm going to be launching Geek Omelet this week, and I'm just a tech geek.
Awesome. Well, thanks for being here, and and Marius from Mastering Mayhem.
Hello, everyone. So for me, basically, kind of my background is I worked mainly in the telecommunications industry for over 20 years, and that's where I got to experience working with just a really broad range of tools, mainly cordless tools, power tools, and tech. So that's the background behind the channel. Really is, mainly power tools and tech, but also I love deals, and a lot of people love saving money, and obviously DIYs is stuff that I do around the house, and I've been a small business owner for quite a few years as well. So I was just trying to look at how I could optimize what I do and having my work for me, if that makes any sense.
Yep.
Because right now I don't have any money to make work for me yet, so I'm making my work for me. So that's kind of my background there, is just telecommunications, having that experience for 20 plus years, and being a small business owner. That's something that I've always wanted to be, and YouTube seems to be a platform that fits my, what would you say, completely random personality. It allows me to be who I am in all of my capacities. So it's just a blast. Yes, I also just learned about Jim, a week ago?
Hey,
2 weeks?
Listen, Jim just learned about Jim about 2 weeks ago. So,
so I've been doing this about a year now, full time, and just really trying to do what Jim did in a week and a half. So it's awesome to see that. And then Joe, I just met him. We have not met up in person yet, but we plan to. Glad to meet Phil there, and of course Red, as I've been watching you a while, and I hear you, Red. I'm trying to put out correct information. I know sometimes I may not, but it will improve as the days and weeks and months go, as I learn more. So I'm just having a blast, and without my wife, I wouldn't be able to do any of this. Just had to throw that in there because she's awesome.
Hey, you always gotta lean on your better half. So all right. Well, I guess maybe I'll do 30 seconds on myself. I'll get the HD camera up here. So my name is Jim. I'm actually an electrical engineer, consulting engineer. So despite being an electrical engineer with a degree, I'm still leaning on Phil to talk about batteries a little bit, because I do things like airports and rail and transit and security cameras and stuff like that. And I put them on architectural plans. So I'm not doing chips and batteries and, consulting. Anyone who's a consultant knows what that means. I wanted to start a YouTube channel, and my first video was on the $69 miter saw from Harbor Freight. And it was funny, I was starting to work on it, and Jeff posted his review. And, I think I made a comment on Jeff's page, and I said, hey, you beat me to it, darn. And he was like, oh, just when you're done, let me know. We'll put it over on the community page at Den of Tools. So I did, and Jeff and I have been emailing back and forth, and he's been really supportive. So I really appreciate his support. But, so I made the Warrior Saw video. I made this stupid, cheesy April Fool's joke that a cheap Chinese planer was from Binford Tools from Home Improvement. I think that has like 6 views. And then somebody made a comment on Den of Tools like, oh, hey, they're showing the Flex tools out of stock. That's weird. So I went to check, and it said add to cart, and I did, and they showed up. So 2 weeks and an obscene number of views later, here I am hosting a live stream with one of my favorite YouTube guys and a couple guys I've started following, and I'm just very thankful, to say the least. So with that, I was going to kind of pose some questions to some of our guys here. So I guess, Red, since I think you have a hard stop at 5 o'clock, right? Yeah. So do you want to talk about, where do you see these flex power tools in the market? Is it just another product in a crowded market, or do you think they're going to break through and they're going to convince existing customers of some of these brands here to switch over? Well, what are your thoughts so far?
Well, I hear everyone saying that it's a crowded market, and I think that is an oversimplification. They're definitely targeting these as at the professional level. They're taking their swing right at Milwaukee. They're not even thinking about DeWalt, which is funny because DeWalt's the market leader, and but Milwaukee's got the mindset that that's where everything's going. But if you think about it right now, in the U.S. market, you've got DeWalt, Milwaukee, that's 1 and 2. And then you kind of have Makita, but Makita's not, you can't find the whole set. Nobody really pushes it. They don't try hard in North America. Their basic attitude is, if you buy our tools, great, but we don't really care. We're selling tools across the rest of the world.
Yep.
Matabo can be found some places. Hilti is a specialty kind of thing. You got to find it. Bosch is very much like Makita. They're like, okay, we have some tools, and they're coming out with a bit more. But as far as the professional market, I mean, that's it. It's not all that. It's mostly just DeWalt and Milwaukee. It's the Ford Chevy kind of thing with a few other outliers. They're hoping to step in, come in right past all the other ones and go right up head to head against the other two. So that said, I think they'll have a shot at the market because right now DeWalt's sold everywhere. Milwaukee is mostly sold only in Home Depot. There's a few specialty hardware stores that sell it, but of the top 5, Home Depot is the only one that has it. And so Lowe's is right behind them. So that's going to put them on par sales-wise, at least frontage-wise, with them. So I think they're going to have a chance to get out there. The real question is, will the tools perform? Can they bring them in at a fair price? And will the service be there? Because that's why a lot of guys love Milwaukee. Is not only do they do great, but Milwaukee doesn't hem and haw when it comes to their 5-year warranty. DeWalt can be kind of a pain. Some of the other ones can be kind of a pain. But that 5-year warranty with Milwaukee is just like, yep, we'll get it done. We'll get it fixed. We'll get it back to you. I talked to Shervon, the parent company making flex tools, on Friday, and I asked them point blank, like, look, some people are not happy with Lowe's, with stuff they have to take back there. If they have to deal with Lowe's for these tools, it may not go well for you. And they said, this is not a Lowe's brand, all right? Cobalt is a Lowe's brand. This is our brand, and you'll be doing all the service and stuff through us. And then my first thought was, well, are they going to have enough service centers at launch? But then you remember, they're Skillsoft, all right? They've been doing pro-grade tools in the U.S. for years.
Yep.
So they already have a network of service centers. So I think they're going to be able to step in there and throw punches with them. What are they going to dominate? No, but I think they're going to grab a market share.
Gotcha. Yeah, it's I lost my train of thought, so that's okay. Yeah, I had something. All right. So, like I said, Red can't really talk about his opinions just yet, but we have Joe, who got his hands on the Sawzall like I did. Mine was part of a kit. Joe was fortunate enough to get the beefy 5 amp hour battery with it. So Joe, what were your impressions? Obviously, Joe did a live stream on his channel, Joe the Tool Guy. You can go check it out. But give us your synopsis.
Well, it can definitely keep up with the pro level tools, but I'm a little iffy on the build quality. I actually noticed it was bending some of the blades on some of the cuts, and the other saws that I use, pro level saws, the Makita, the DeWalt, they weren't bending any blades. So
Gotcha.
Weird. And then the shaft seemed a little off center. I should have checked before we started the live stream. This was something I forgot to do. Hopefully the rest of the tools are better built.
Yeah.
And I'm going to try and cut that thing in half and take it back to Lowe's and see what happens.
Yeah. So I'm going to switch cameras here. And yeah, so, on this guy, one thing that I think, Joe, you pointed out was So when the collets, let's see if I can get it in there. All right, so when this is all the way in, it's really hard to twist this thing. I hope you guys can see that okay on the camera, but that's kind of weird, and I know Joe pointed that out too. I thought it was just me or something like that. Yeah, as far as build quality, I don't know if this is just my opinion, Joe. I don't know that if it's crappy or just, I don't think it's crappy. I think maybe there's nothing necessarily unique. I mean, at some point, everything's either fiberglass impregnated plastic or ABS and rubber. I mean, there's only so many materials they can, they can build these things out of. So at some point,
I wouldn't call it crappy. It is definitely a step up from Black & Decker, the lower end tools there, the Ryobis.
Yeah.
But is it on par with Super Sawzall? The Makita, and I don't even have the X2 Makita, the 36 volt. I would have loved to have tested that out, but
well, if you tested a 36, if you tested a 36 volt against a 24 volt, people would have been up in arms. I mean, my first test was the 5 amp hour battery in the Milwaukee drill. Now, aside from the fact that the Milwaukee drill is a tier up from the drill that I got, I think people like Red have gotten the good stuff. I just got what Lowe's accidentally sold me, which is kind of the mid tier. There's no speed control in the impact. The top tier drill is going to have this turbo mode, things like that. So it was kind of an unfair battle, but I just wanted to get it out there, and that might be the case with the Super Sawzall too. But I think I hit a knot when I was doing the cut on the Super Sawzall. Some guys saw it in my B cam. So, but it was just for fun. And I hope all the people on the stream know that it's not like I'm the definitive authority on comparing a leading tool brand that's well established to a new tool brand. I'm a guy in a garage. So take my videos for what they are. Yeah. And so is Joe. Right. And my methods will hopefully get better as we go.
That's the wonderful thing about the internet, Jim. If you want to go back and try it again with, change the parameters a little bit, you can. What I want to point out is, so this is the skill version of that saw. And, I've gone into Photoshop and done the whole, put them side by side. And there are some slight shape differences. It's very minor. From what I've seen, the design architecture looks very similar between this and the Cobalt XTR and the Flex. And I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing. Some companies like TTI, they keep a very different design architecture between their brands. And in a lot of cases, they don't share technological things either. But I think what Chervon is doing is they're taking a practical approach, to keep prices down and maximize their supply chain. But what I'm curious about, because my opinion, let me state this as my opinion, that really the big difference between this and that Flex is that this has Chervon's brushless motor in it, and that has Chervon's sensorless brushless motor in it. The size specs are almost identical. The weight specs are within like a couple of ounces. Even where the controls are and everything. So personally, I want to crack this open, and I want to crack that one open and see if they've actually, upped what's going on inside. That'll I think tell a big part of it. But I don't see why they wouldn't. I mean, it's a big deal to say we're going after Pro Tools and then not put out a Pro Tool. So they know people are watching, but curiously, that's one of the things I want to look at.
Great, yeah, that's great insight on the other, skill as another Chervon line. Marius, so what are your thoughts so far?
Well, I just paused my review video getting the content. You wrote to me and telling me about trying to eliminate any loose material as I get the sawzalls to cut through metal and wood. Mm-hmm. So I'm going to include that in the video, showing me I'm bolting down the 4x6 into my wooden table. I sat on the 4x6 midair just to show that I'm trying to make it the best test that I can with what I have, right? Because that's what I've learned, watching Den of Tools, watching Joe the Tool Guy, watching you now. These are things that I'm learning, and I'm just trying to. It's important to me, right? I want to know these things. If I'm going to buy a tool, make an investment, I want to see, the best type of tests I can see. I just don't have the type of tools yet. And, like Joe was saying, we're all, guys in the garage. I'm still just in a shed. So I'm going to get there one day.
Yeah.
But my wife brought mine. So here it is right now with dust falling out of it. But they all have brand new blades. It's going to be a total of 6 recip saws that I'm going to compare them to. It's going to cut through just clean cut wood, 4x6, and then a 4x4 with 10-inch long deck lag bolt screws. All of them are going to cut. They're all going to have brand new blades on them. Every single test is going to be, it's going to be the brand new blade, but they'll all go through the same 4 different tests.
So in other words, you'll put the blade on the saw and you'll run it through all the tests with that blade, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Correct.
Yeah.
But each one out of the 6 sawzalls, it's going to be this one, the Makita LXT brush. They're all the brushless. The Milwaukee Super Sawzall, the HPT UVP, I think, Metabo, the DeWalt Flexible, the 20, the Flex Advantage. What other ones is there? The Cobalt XTR, and I feel like I'm missing one, but it's a total of 6. And I can't. Oh, the Makita. I said Makita. DeWalt, Cobalt, Flex. Oh, Flex is number 6.
Yeah, of course.
This guy right
the star of the show.
Hey, Jim,
So
can I
stay
ask Brett a
tuned for
real quick
that.
question?
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, so I want to follow up on something you said at the beginning. We're talking about, it's a high-end tool brand. They're going after the high-end. I agree with you. I don't think there's too many of anything in any segment. It's just more choice for consumers. But, do you think they need to do more than just offer, the same warranty, high performance, and then what they're doing? I mean, to pull somebody out of a category and switch over to them. And then the other thing is what about the really high-end tool brands? I mean, Jim and I talked about this briefly, and I know they're nowhere near as dense in the market as Milwaukee is or DeWalt, but like Hilti, what about things like that? Where do you think, instead of talking about those brands, what do you think that Flex has to do to, one, take away, get people moving out of a platform, and 2, win over other people?
Was that question for me or Jim? Sorry.
Red.
Oh, yeah.
What do they have to do? Well, one of the things they're doing right now is they're offering lifetime warranty to anybody who buys it this year. I asked them, would they extend that for people like going forward? Is that a possibility of becoming a permanent thing? And they said, who knows? So that's a big incentive. We get a lot of people who, even the best brands, I got people on my channel who are like, I'll never buy Milwaukee again. I'll never buy DeWalt again. They just get burned by it, or it gets too expensive. Like the battery, like DeWalt has battery price issues. And so there's always somebody looking for something new. There's some people who I just don't like shopping at Home Depot. Personally, in my area here, I hate going to Home Depot. I was at Home Depot this morning. I dreaded going there. It was just as bad as I remembered. Couldn't wait to get out of there. The Lowe's is so much easier, nicer and stuff. But, other places, it's reversed. So they're going to get people who are going to adopt it early for a bunch of different reasons. The question is, how does it last after that? How does their service match after that? And what other tools do they roll out to fill out the line? They said 100 tools within 2 years. They make that happen, and they match on service, and they're just going to get a market share based off of people who are tired of dealing with the other companies. So I don't see them having a problem getting a sizable market share. Are they going to become bigger than Milwaukee? Well, that's not going to happen for years. That's going to take 10, 15 years if it does happen. And it's going to require Milwaukee to screw something up. So I think the big loser here at the end of the day is going to be DeWalt, because DeWalt won't have a specific home. They're just kind of everywhere and stuff. I'll be honest, other than the XR line of tools, I think the rest of DeWalt stuff is trash. Not including the corded stuff. I'm talking the cordless. But that's all they've really got going. Milwaukee's got 3 great lines in the 18 volt. They got the killer 12 volt line, and if Flex, I think Flex also needs to come out with a smaller, like a 12 or 14 volt or something like that. I'm going to say this, guys. Sorry to dominate here. I got to run. I got to help my son with some math tutoring stuff. But I will offer this. I was planning to do this anyway. I'm going to do a teardown on this, the impact. And this is the top of the line impact thing with all the buttons. I'm going to tear this sucker apart. Yeah, but Phil, I saw you had the skill saw. I've got some skill tools. Like I even have my trusty skill 12 volt, which is like one of my favorite tools now. But I've got this thing, and I can try tearing in it. If you want to do a joint video, and I can do a teardown on mine, and then you do a teardown on yours, and I'll send people from my video to yours to check it out. I will say this. I'm a little hesitant because I've done teardowns of recips before, and they can be a bit tricky trying to do.
Drills are a lot easier. Drills
put
are
them back together.
Maybe we just stick to drills. I mean,
No, I want to see. I want to see what's in it. It's a lot. Like you said, when you pick this thing up, it doesn't go, "Oh my gosh, that is a true pro grade tool." But the housing is just like, you don't judge a book by its cover. I mean, it's rubberized and glass fiber plastic. There's no metal on it, so it doesn't give you that, ooh, it's got a metal casing that must be, rugged. But in reality is, on a job site, this may last longer because rubber doesn't dent, doesn't rust, doesn't get corroded. So,
Yeah.
Anyway, let me know. You guys always feel free to hit me up at red@denatools.com. I got to run. Thanks, Jim, for having me on. You all take care, and as always, shine on, folks.
All right, and hey,
Pleasure.
guys, don't forget to join Red's watch party. He's hosting one at 7:30 Eastern, 4:30 Pacific. So make sure if you aren't already targeting a watch party for this thing, if you even knew there was a watch party, go to Red's. Go to Denat Tools. Check it out. He's Denat Tools on Facebook. So all right,
Hey, Jim. I just wanted to say I would do a teardown of my recip saw, but somebody already won it in our Saturday Night Mayhem giveaway.
Oh,
So I didn't do it. I don't want to ruin it for them.
I don't think. Yeah, it wouldn't do as well if they got it in pieces.
Greg's going to volunteer his research.
No, I would put it back together.
I'll volunteer the skill.
I'll tear my Flex down. I'm going to cut it in half anyway. I'm going to brush my teeth with it. A few other things, maybe cut a car in half. We'll see what it can handle.
All right.
So one thing that didn't make it into my recip video last night that I wanted to, there you go. That thing looks nice. I mean, the body's narrow. It looks like it's easier to handle than a typical grinder.
It's a lot more narrow. It's longer. It's got, compared to my rigid one and the Makita X-Lock, it's longer, a little more narrow. Once you put the battery on it, let me see. It's pretty balanced, y'all. I mean, what, 2 fingers here?
Hey, you got that Makita X-Lock, right?
Yes. So we're gonna compare it to that and the rigid Octane.
Side by side on that.
Well, I don't have it in here.
Ah, okay. Okay.
It's outside in my shed, but my wife will go.
Here's a virtual side by side with my Ryobi.
We'll do it. Oh yeah, there you go. She's gonna go grab the X-Lock glove and the rigid. Wait a minute. She's going to grab the X-Lock. Here's the rigid. I do have the rigid in here.
Oh, nice. Camera.
So they're about the same length if you don't put it where the battery, right here. Let me take the battery out.
And I like that the battery is at a 90-degree angle to the grinder on that, because if you really needed to like set it down for a sec, you could set it on end. I mean, it would probably fall over, but
stand it up straight.
Yep.
Yeah. So this is good. This just stands on its own for sure. The Flex, even without the battery, but so that lengthwise, they're pretty much the same with the rigid. I mean, that's exactly the same length, really.
And so the Flex has a paddle switch, which I prefer. I don't like the slide switch on here. I like just be able to ding, 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 So
Okay. Yeah, this is
It's funny that you say that. You guys grind natural stone and concrete for hours at a time, and you guys are going to want to switch.
True. It
hours at a time.
You can see
so,
that shared design architecture. This is the switch on the skill, right?
Okay.
But it doesn't have. Does the Flex have a speed control on it?
Yes, a speed selector here. It's got four modes. I don't know if you could. Let's see if we can get it in the camera, but yeah, it's got 4 modes here. So completely low and then high on 4. So yeah, 4 selections there.
So I'll have to check and see if there's a step up version of this in the skill line, but I don't think it's necessarily a bad thing. I don't think it's a bad thing as long as what's inside the motor.
Yeah.
Actually, I mean, you can make a powerful motor. The question is it going to be durable? And you know, I think that Shervan's amazing with batteries, and I have no doubt that the battery system that's in there is very cool. But it's only good time is the only thing that's going to tell. I certainly expect a lot from Shervan. I really do.
Well, I think Red asked, or you all were asking Red earlier, as far as like what will set them apart. And for me, I think the people that are coming to watch my videos are more like the DIY guys, the homeowners. I wouldn't say necessarily the professionals. I see them commenting here and there, but it's mostly like small business owners, contractors, which are some can be pros and things like that. And for the people in that category, I would say what's always been important to me is ease of service, right? If something goes wrong with it, you know, there's an issue. It's just like right now I'm waiting on I just haven't attacked it, but the rigid SDS Plus hammer drill, I burned it out probably, but I'm not sure because I had to go do a job installing a basketball hoop. But so if this company makes that easy where there's an issue, they're like, look, we're going to take care of you. That is one of the biggest complaints I see in my comments in my videos, right? It's like, they don't take care of you. So that seems to be a common issue. And then of course, durability, like you all said, durability is big, you know, and then runtime, right? The power seems to be brought up quite a bit, but the runtime seems to be, and this is just going off of the people I interact with, you know, on my YouTube channel and what they bring up. So runtime and just durability and services are like the 3 things that I see come up quite a bit. Just wanted to share that with you all as far as what I've been seeing. So I think if Flex covers those things and they cover it well, I think it'll set them apart in those 3 categories personally. So
I think Milwaukee is the gold standard when it comes to at least the service they offer, the warranty they offer. I mean, one of the things I love about Milwaukee is you don't have to register the tool. You just have proof of purchase. That's a big deal.
Yep.
And the other nice thing is that like I've bought several of my M12 Milwaukee tools off of I guess I can say whatever, Amazon. And because that's where a lot of people who buy kits and then break them down and sell them, or even honestly refurbed versions, are available there. And my M12 impact driver, Gen 2, I think it is, impact driver, I called them and I'm like, what do I need to do to have warranty? And they're like, give us a serial number. I gave them the serial number. The guy was like, you have 4 years and 3 months left on that. I'm like, do I have to do anything? Nope. Do we need to fill out a card? Nope. Just hold your receipt.
Yeah, I only bought, as much as everybody's going to assume I'm a big Milwaukee fanboy because I've been doing these Milwaukee face-offs. I only bought my first Milwaukee tool around Christmas time when they were on special. I mean, I've got Makita here, I've got Ryobi, but when I was like, okay, I got to go register the tool, and they were like, oh no, we use the serial number and it's fine. You don't have to. I was like, what? So, and somebody just commented in the chat that you can mail it. I guess what you mail it to them, they mail it back to you. Is that right? So yeah, I mean that's the thing. Like, yeah, it says they even pay return shipping, is what Llama 370 blah 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 said. So I feel like I've heard things about rigid, right, where they kind of make you jump through hoops, and it's like, well, lifetime warranty is not any good if you can't use it, right? Somebody said, I saw somebody say on a group that they bought something as part of a special where you buy the kit and get the free tool, and they went to register the warranty, and they were like, well, this receipt's only for the kit, that free tool, you can't register with this receipt. It's like, what?
The lifetime battery warranty is only for kits, not when you buy individual batteries.
Is that true?
Even skill, if you don't remember to register the tool with, I think it's 30 days, it might be 60, but I think it's 30 days. You don't get the what is it, 5-year warranty that they offer. You just get, I think it's a 1-year warranty. And I don't know why they're doing that, but I just think, you're hoping people forget.
Right.
And Milwaukee doesn't worry about that kind of stuff. I don't know anybody here DeWalt. What's DeWalt or Stanley Black and Decker's? Anybody had any problems with those?
I've had one of the OG Impacts burn out on me, and it was just a serial number thing. Unfortunately, I was out of warranty at that point.
Right.
Yeah.
But
that's why I always keep your
Mastering
receipts.
Mayhem actually did a Cobalt video where he just straight up walks into the store, and they swap it out for him.
Yeah, and they upgraded. They upgraded the from a brushless drill to a hammer drill because they didn't have that as a single tool. And another thing I'm learning too, it does come down, like you said, sometimes it's the tool company, sometimes it's the store itself, right? Like Lowe's or Home Depot. And then sometimes it comes down to the employees and how they're approached. I've had different experiences where I get completely surprised, right, and taken aback because they just, like the hammer drill thing. I mean, I made a video and people couldn't believe it, and obviously it was great because somebody won it, right? Again, Mastering Saturday Night Mayhem would do a free power tool giveaway every Saturday night, 9 p.m. Central Standard Time. That's a plug. But we got the Makita here. If y'all want to see that real quick comparison.
Yeah.
Again, they seem to be about the same size. This one is narrower. The flex right here at the handle, this one's a little more, I don't want to use a term that has double innuendo, but it's a little girthier. It's got more girth.
I think it's because the motor can be smaller that they use in the flex. So
yeah. Look at that. I mean, you can see that, right? I mean, Makita's got quite a bit bigger motor. So
I wonder how much of that is the X-Lock mechanism dealing.
I'm sorry, the question, Joe?
I'm wondering how much of that girth there on the Makita is because of the X-Lock mechanism.
Oh, yeah.
I do know that they have to build it differently.
Possibly, yeah. That's probably a part of it. Yeah, I'm curious too. But I can't wait to. It's going to be these two guys and then the Rigid, because these are the only 3 tools I have to compare for now. But so y'all stay tuned for that.
I was excited to see that on the oscillating multi-tool that they've gone Starlock on it, which is nice. I mean, there's that whole Shervon history with Bosch and in the development of Starlock. So I was really glad to see that because Starlock's really cool. And on the flip side, I was a little disappointed because there are a lot of good non-Starlock blades. So what I want to know is if you can use multiple kinds. I don't think you can. I think once you're Starlock, you're Starlock.
Yeah, the Starlock blades they're expensive, man.
Yeah.
One thing
I had the Skill multi-tool for about a month just because at the time they were really amazing on vibration, and they still are. But then Milwaukee came out with their multi-tools, and I tried them. And since I've got more Milwaukee tools in the platform, I ended up, swapping out, going back, returning the Skill, and I'm going with but they made huge strides in lack of vibration. I got to imagine this Flex one, is going to have a lot of that. I'm curious to get my hands on it. I really am. I'm curious to get a hands on a lot of the tools.
Same here. What I did want to point out, you get discs, right? Grinding, cutting discs with most of the other brands. Flex had nothing in there. No disc came with it. It's just the grinder, and the tool. It's not a toolless, swapping the mechanism there. No disc, but you do get a Flex sticker.
Yeah, I got a Flex sticker too.
Yeah, that's pretty sweet. My brother at Nathan's Knives loves stickers.
Did you guys
know that the European or the German Flex tools, the 18-volt ones, they have got like 5 or 6 grinders in the lineup, and the guys at Tools in Action went and visited Shervon. I actually pulled some screen grabs from it, but I don't have them on this computer. And on the stand that they were showing there, like, I guess this is our launch of Tools. I'm sure I saw multiple grinders. So maybe they're not sending out the top of the line ones to everybody. I don't know.
And I was curious, Phil. I don't know. This one came with the 5 amp, so I don't know which one is the top of the line. It was 248 total. So I'm still trying to figure that out, because I heard that, like you all said, there's the turbo version, which is the higher end one. It comes with like a hard case, right? This is just stuff I've seen briefly. I don't know.
At that price, you're talking about Hilti price range.
Yeah. Well, I mean, all we have to judge is the $399 price that Jim paid for the kit, and I guess compare that to other entry level. I forget which channel said they're pro grade, but these are entry level pro grade. And I kept thinking, look, if you're going to make a pro grade tool, your entry level tool better perform.
They're handyman grade. They're not general contractor grade.
Otherwise, I think I'd buy Cobalt.
Or for example, you showed the skill recip software, and then that kit at Lowe's right now with the 4 amp hour battery charger, everything is $149. So that's a $100 difference. I mean, that could be a really easy decision for a lot of folks to go with one over the other. I mean, I wanted to buy it, but I had a budget, so I wanted to put that in the test. It still may happen. I don't know.
So I want to break from the chat here and go to our live chat. Couple comments. Robert Jaquil said turbo version. The 80s called and wanted their branding back.
There you go.
On-site electrician Scott asked, can you keep the sticker if you take the tools back? I'll tell you my experience in returning tools. If you tape the box back shut, they don't even look to see what you might have stolen out of it. I know that both from returning tools and having bought tools, open them and stuff's missing, So, but don't steal things and return it. That's not ethical. That's just me. I try to be honest, but let's see. Somebody else was asking earlier. Unfortunately, Jeff had to drop. But they were asking about, what's going on with Metabo HPT at Lowe's. Why are they putting this stuff on clearance? It was one of you guys. It was either Joe or Marius that I think you were talking to one of the Lowe's store managers, and they said they're thinning it down because it's not selling as well as they want. Like, they're not getting rid of it, but they're thinning down the product offering.
We're going to respectively treat it the same way that we treated quarter cable.
All right, we had 3 at once. Let's go with Marius first.
Yes, I think I have that on camera. I like to, and I ask them before I do it. If I'm talking to a Lowe's employee, I make sure they're okay with it and whatnot. But yeah, I did. But see, this is what a lot of folks need as I'm learning, because I'm hunting. I'm driving all over the place, different Home Depots, different Lowe's. And so I want people to know that, a lot of times it seems to be a personal employee to employee basis type situation as far as things that will happen for you. It's very strange. I thought it would be like a universal, way of going about it right across the company. So the one thing though I did want to say about Metabo, I just shared a photo in the community. They're actually coming out with a subcompact line. It was in a store. Marcos, one of my subscribers, sent me a photo. It was on the floor. Metabo subcompact. So maybe they're thinning out in that way, maybe to add a little room for that. But we do know Metabo and Bosch we're just selling. I mean, they're still highly discounted right now at Lowe's. So that's all I can. I hope I answered the question.
No, you did. And being in for me, being in the Philly metro area, for those that don't live in the area, Norristown is about 30 miles northwest of Center City, Philadelphia. But just being close to the city, man, those deals do not last. I mean, I see the same stickers that people are posting online, but they're gone before that. I feel like the employee slaps the sticker on there and they disappear. So I don't get those deals in my area. Once in a while, maybe, but I'm also not out there looking as hard as you guys are. Probably.
Yeah,
so.
I was, if I may, Jim, that's where I'm trying to tell a lot of people that are coming to my channel is, they get astounded as to how I find these deals, but the only reason I'm able to look at these stores that are 100 miles apart, it's because I go do my contracting job for the day, and I drive 60 miles out, 80 miles out to a different city, a smaller town. And while I'm there, I just figure once I finish my job, I'll just stop by Home Depot and Lowe's, get a live video, see what deals are going on. So it's not easy to find those deals if you can't drive around. I would have never been able to, if I didn't have that opportunity with my actual work outside of YouTube, so.
Yep.
That speaks to the inconsistency of Lowe's too. I mean, I can't tell you how many times I go on BrickSeek and there's an amazing deal on a tool.
5% of stores.
The Lowe's by my house has a ton of them. It's like, oh yeah, we're not offering that deal. Just one 5 miles away that is one in stock.
I can only imagine that Lowe's must give their store managers a lot more latitude over pricing and what goes on clearance and things like that, because we're not typically having the same type of conversations around Home Depot that we are around Lowe's. I mean, I don't know. I'd like to see stats on BrickSeek, like Lowe's versus Home Depot searches. I bet Home Depot is like 1% of BrickSeek searches. I don't know. That's kind of my thoughts. I mean, obviously there's stuff that pops up at Home Depot because a lot of my appliances came from the aisle with the yellow sticker on them. Like I got a 5 cubic foot chest freezer for $85. And I just was in there the other day and like the smaller one was 130. So, obviously there's exceptions to the rule, but.
I think, Joe, if you want to talk a little bit about BrickSeek, I feel if that's all right, Jim, as far as.
Yeah, that's great.
I think he may know a little bit more on the Home Depot Lowe's thing on that.
What happened? Oops.
Oh,
hey, there you are.
No, sorry. I dropped out there for a second. So BrickSeek, it's not that difficult. They even added a product finder on their website. You're just going to use the inventory checkers for, Walmart, Lowe's, or Home Depot,
right,
and search whatever it is that you're looking for, and it'll tell you whether it's on sale or not. And what I don't like is they changed it for Home Depot. They don't tell you the price anymore. If it's on sale, on clearance or whatever, it's just going to tell you clearance. You won't know how much.
Yeah.
I think that's because they don't have access to the Home Depot pricing system. They have their big thing. I joined them for a year, bought their, and because supposedly they have access to Walmart and Lowe's and Target and some other ones, POS system and stocking system. I don't know, maybe they're an inventory company or something. But I wonder if they actually have that with Home Depot, or just depending upon a community to tell them.
I'm actually an avid slick dealer, and the ongoing rumor there is that they specifically tweaked their system just to mess with BrickSeek. Specifically.
Yeah, I mean, you see that a lot. I don't know if anyone on here, I know this is a tool discussion, but if anyone else is maybe a little bit of a computer nerd, there used to be a website called Camel Egg, which is now Camel. And
yeah, Amazon.
Yeah, so Camel's big thing now is Amazon, but when it started, it was Camel Egg, and it was for the site Newegg, and Newegg was historically for computer parts and things like that. Well, eventually Newegg made it so that basically their API didn't allow Camel Egg to do what it did anymore. And if it wasn't for the fact that they tagged on to doing Amazon price tracking, their website probably would not exist anymore. So yeah, companies, once they say, we don't really like this, and they come up with a way to block, however somebody's scraping that data, they block them from doing it. So yeah,
it's a shame because you love it. It's a great way to get deals. But
yeah, it's like they don't want you to know about it, or I don't know. It's like, well, if they really want to get rid of that product cheap, you'd think they'd want people to know about it, but maybe they just want to have better control over how their data is used or something. Anyway, that's a little bit of a tangent. So at this point, I'll open it up. We have about a little under 10 minutes left. So let's see. Donnie McCrory asked if we're doing a watch event. I'm not doing a watch event. I recommend Den of Tools. Go to his watch event at 7:30 Eastern, 4:30 Pacific. So that's where I'm sending people for watch events, Red at Den of Tools. Anybody on the chat have any questions for us? I know it's unfortunate Red couldn't stick around. I feel like he probably has the most inside knowledge, but we moved it up to 4:30 so we could at least have him on for the first half hour. So if you were here and you caught that, good for you. Nothing coming in. Tag me at Philly Fixed in the chat if you have any questions for us. So a couple things I just want to mention. If you don't mind me talking about my channel for just a sec. I really wasn't prepared to have like a thorough testing and tool face-off channel. I have an 1800s house. I'm in my detached garage. So, if you think some of my tests are marginal quality and setup, you're absolutely right. Like clamping things to my Heart work table is not ideal. Obviously, Mastering Mayhem, he said he's bolting things down. He's going to make sure it's secure. So he got some lessons learned from my testing. But no, my tests aren't perfect. I had a false start on one of the threaded rod tests on the M18. That's why you saw in my video it looked like the blade had already been used. It's because I got a third of the way through and the threaded rod fell out. So yeah, is it perfect? It's not. I'm trying to improve. I'm trying to get better. But I think the value of me and the other guys on here that have channels, and Phil that is going to start a channel soon because you have to. You got a lot of fans in the chat here saying Phil needs a channel. I think
I will. I said on my birthday this month, so on the 29th.
I'll be waiting.
Birthday gift. Subscribe when it goes live.
Subscribe.
And all of us will definitely share that out when your channel goes live. But I hope the value that the YouTube viewers get from our channel / future channel is that none of us really do tool review channels for a living, right? None of us are Tool Reviews LLC or whatever you want to say. We're not necessarily getting these tools directly from the companies. So, we're trying to offer that DIYer / maybe you're a handyman, you make some money, but we're trying to offer that down-to-earth, real-world usage scenarios. Now, that being said, I tried to drive a bunch of lags with drills the other day, and that's not real world at all. But for me, it's kind of just for fun. Can we push the limits of these tools? And then also, I'm not like a pro contractor skilled using it every day. Can I get what I need out of the tool as a DIYer with an 1800s house and a ton of work to do? So, I don't think any of us will ever maybe rise to the status of somebody like Project Farm, who's not a pro either, but he should be. He should do consulting on the side. But we're not necessarily pro tool reviews or shop tool reviews. I mean, those guys, that's their career. You go on their LinkedIn page, that's their job. The guys on here, we all work 9 to 5s. Phil works for himself, which is awesome. But I think the other three of us
means I work a lot of hours.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I get it. Joe the tool guy, he's got a mask on because he doesn't want to conflict with his professional life.
I'm also a small business owner. Yeah. So I like the fact that I'm not 9 to 5. That was one of the things I dreaded the most.
Yeah. But none of us wake up in the morning and have a full day of just YouTube content production. It's a thing on the side. And after I posted my video last night, my wife was like, "Hey, so how'd the video go?" I'm like, "Good. I think I'm done for a while. Flex is coming out, and nobody's going to want to watch me anymore," which I hope isn't true. But she's like, "Good, because you have to work on the bedroom. We're remodeling a bedroom." She's like, "You spent all day doing a YouTube video." So, that's who I am. I think I'm probably not too far off the mark with you guys either. So I hope that's the perspective and value that we provide. We're certainly not trying to compete with Project Farm, with some of these other guys. Maybe someday when we grow up, right? But at least, again, I'm speaking for myself. I don't want to speak for these guys, but my channel's 2 weeks old, so you get what you get. And I hope it's fun. I hope it's entertaining. I'll do my best. That's all I can say. I read the comments. I try to take feedback to heart and not take offense to it. As long as you guys are just civil and say, "Hey, Jim, I think you could have done this better," I'll read that and make note. So, I think we were up to about 125 people on the stream today, which is fantastic for something that I posted, an hour and a half, 2 hours ahead of time and planned maybe 2 hours before that.
Impromptu.
Yeah. So again, I really want to thank Phil, Joe, and Marius for coming on last minute. I'll make sure I thank Jeff Red from Den of Tools on the side. This has really been great. I hope you guys enjoyed it. All I can say is, the three of us with existing channels, we're going to keep trying to give you good content. And Phil, we're going to hold you to getting your channel up and running pretty soon. So
maybe we can do this again. I mean, maybe it's we can do a post-event one if we have time.
Yeah. Yeah. Sounds like a plan.
I'm up for that.
Well after post-event, like days.
Yeah.
You got a baby, right? You got a kid. So
yeah, I have a 2-year-old. In fact, one of the reasons I set this up for kind of early, especially on the West Coast, is because my wife has something to go out and do. So I got to put my 2-year-old to bed at 7:00. So couldn't do it right. And I also didn't want to conflict with Denatools Watch Party, because I really like that community, and I didn't want to compete with that. So I thought this would give a little bit of a different thing. It's not a watch party. We're just kind of chatting about tools, giving some people some insights into who we are in our channels, and having a good time. So
Yeah.
that's it. Any closing thoughts from you guys?
who wants to go first?
How about?
I have closing thoughts, but I defer.
How about what do you have coming up on your channel? I know you said you were kind of still working on your recip test. What can we expect from you coming up?
Okay, yeah. So I got 20 videos waiting in my external hard drive, but so I'm trying to finish out my DIY videos, so you guys will see those coming out consistently, mainly on my contracting work. I just focused on doing health or fitness equipment because it's indoors. I don't want to be out. That's the great thing about owning your own business, and I will do a video on that because a lot of my viewers have asked, when did I start my own business? So once you get to a certain place, you can determine exactly what kind of work you want to do, the time you want. I want to share that with my viewers because they seem interested. But the newest video that's going to come out is the 6 recip style, maybe 7. I might get that skill one. I'm looking at my wife here.
Why do you think I'm out in the garage? Why do you think I'm in the garage that's 50 feet from the house? She's stuck there with our daughter.
Yeah. But so the recip one is coming. 6 recip, saws. Definitely my goal is to have it. That's the one-handed though. I have the one-handed 12-volt recip by skill, but so the 6 one, the 18-volt, 24-volt, it will be. I wanted to get it done tonight, but it'll probably be up tomorrow sometime, just because so much is going on. And then of course the flex grinder. I'm trying to do those as quickly as possible, just because, as you all know, the other YouTube tool guys here, at least that's what I'm understanding as I'm learning the algorithm and things like that. The earlier on you can get things out, and especially as a small YouTuber, the better it is for the channel and the word gets out. But the one thing I want to talk about as far as our channel is kind of what the overarching theme here is. Of course, it's tools, tech, DIYs, and deals, but mainly it's to help people with, either saving money, helping them make a decision without having to go through all the things that we do, right? Which I'm sure a lot of those bigger channels are the same, reason behind that. But the ultimate reason there is with the giveaway, right? Saturday Night Mayhem is what it's called. Every Saturday night at 9 p.m. Central Standard Time, I give away tools. All these are part of it. The flex is already gone. It's not even on, people can't even buy it, and I gave it away, the recip saw. So that's what we love to do Saturday nights. If you all like free tools, stop by. I guarantee one giveaway every Saturday night. Sometimes I go nuts. That's why it's called Saturday Night Mayhem. I may do 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You just don't know what you're going to get with me. We even have the mystery box now.
Everything behind you will be gone by the end of Saturday night. No, I was kidding.
Well, again, just that's what we love to do. And again, the whole theme of our channel is, the logo is the book of John, chapter 10, verse 10, living life more abundantly. And that's what we want to show, abundantly through the tools that you have, the knowledge that you have, how you spend your money, and where you can save money. And then that's why in our community, we like to share information. Hey, if I just save $50 on it, share it. Let's share it. Yeah. So I just feel like we're not in here for competition, but more just for knowledge and helping each other out. That's what our channel's about. And I'm done.
That's great.
Do you mind, Jim, if I
No.
real quick?
Yep, go for it.
I've just decided right now, you guys have changed my mind, because I've shared with Jim about, like, this is going to be my first video, and this is going to be. So I've just realized what it needs to be, because my background is marketing, My friends used to say there's a special place in hell for marketing people like me, because we just convince people to buy things they don't need. However, I don't do that anymore. I'm reformed. I want to pay really close attention to what Flex is going to do at tonight's event and in the following days, because I think one of the things I can do, and this is going to be the video I've just decided, is to kind of break down what is, the kind of pre-planned marketing speak, caveating things like up to and how they talk about it, and see if I can help people get through that and see really what is going to be unique on these Flex tools inside, because it sure isn't going to be much on the outside. I mean, that recip saw, it's got a hook, just the skill doesn't. And we know it's got that bigger motor in it. And then follow up with talking about some of the inside technology that really could put these guys over the edge if they do it right. And that's the thing, if they do it right, because this is, as far as I know, the first tool company to use sensorless, brushless motors.
Yep.
So being first out of the gate can be great, and it can be awful.
Yeah.
So,
well, I mean, we saw, again, this isn't tools, but we saw how that went with CVT, continuously variable transmissions in Honda, right? They had a lot of issues, and they were one of the pioneers, at least in the U.S. market, that I'm aware of.
Sony that I worked for, king of being first,
mini
never
disc
in the industry.
Mini
more than
disc.
2 years later.
Who remembers mini disc at all?
Well, I do.
Yeah, right. And man, it's a shame Betamax didn't win over VHS, but now we're really out in the weeds. Joe the Tool.
Who remembers Qualia? That was my big thing. So,
all right, Joe the Tool Guy. Closing thoughts.
Jim, I'm just here to have fun. I really wasn't planning on doing YouTube like this. This kind of spiraled, and now I'm like doing videos all the time.
It sucks you in, Joe. It sucks you in, man.
Yeah,
once you get a taste.
Like, YouTube again.
I mean, whatever. Look at me. I posted my first video 2.5 weeks ago, and then I somehow managed to get Jeff from Dennet Tools and you guys on the phone on the Zoom to do a live stream. So, all right. Well, I think we're going to wrap it up. Once again, guys, thank you so much for being on the panel. I'm pointing at the wrong thing. Thank all of you for joining the live stream. Hey, let's see what comes out with the watch event tonight. The best I could do for you was some of the mid-tier tools, whatever that means. These guys are gonna put out content as they can on the tools. After the launch event, I think we're all still gonna try to give our takes on these tools. If they're aimed for pros, what do DIYers think about them? Or what is, I don't want to call Marius a DIYer because he is a contractor that works for himself, but I can tell you I'm a DIYer, so we can get some different perspectives, and I think we'll promote each other's content so you can get different sides of the coin, and just a great group of guys here. So thanks again. That's it for the live stream, and maybe we'll see you. I'll be over on Dennet Tools for the live watch party. Maybe I'll see you over there. Until then, God bless you guys, and take care.
Take care, y'all. It was a pleasure.
Good meeting y'all. Look forward to the next time.
Yep.